Next up, it's the divisional final, as the second division champions Featherstone Rovers take on the surprise packages, the men of third division Workington Town. And believe me, their supporters are here in droves. Mark Wallace has been on the long journey north to Workington, and then he went east to Featherstone this week to assess the mood as today's Old Trafford final beckoned.
Situated between the Irish Sea and the beautiful fells of the Lake District, the small town of Workington has been taken over by Premiership fever. The blue and white of Workington Town adorns many shop windows, even though for the Divisional Premiership final they'll be wearing a new away kit of red and white. But since their wins against Huddersfield in the second round and Rochdale in the semi-finals on their way to Old Trafford, the town has been in a permanent state of celebration.
The atmosphere is just unbelievable. There's a lot of interest in the town.
Workington know they are facing a tall order on Sunday, and no one is more aware of that than their Australian coach Peter Walsh, although it hasn't affected his positive attitude.
You've got to go down there expecting to win, and we believe that if we give it our best shot, our forwards always lay the foundation, and by doing that they set a platform for our backs to attack in, and so I'm confident our forward pack will be able to match theirs. Obviously they've got an edge on pace and class on us throughout the whole side, you might say, but one thing these guys can be counted on, they'll give 110% week in and week out, and so they won't be going there to lie down, that's for sure.
The experience of ex-Widnes hooker Phil McKenzie has been vital to Town's success this year. He's looking forward to yet another appearance at Old Trafford after 5 with the Chemics.
It's a nice feeling, it's especially after missing out on Wembley with the lads down there with Widnes. And it's becoming like a second home now. It's the 5th premiership, and I've been there with the World Club Championship against Canberra, so it's I'm looking forward to it.
The combination of the young Dean Marwood at scrum half, who has amassed 410 points this season, and the more experienced Jed Byrne at standoff has proved to be the perfect partnership for Town. The halfbacks are hoping that this Sunday they could pull off a historic win.
The sides we have played in Huddersfield and Rochdale, they've been good sides, and Featherstone are a good side, and they've got very good players, but we'll just take it as it comes, and like we've shocked a few other sides up, so we can do it on the big day.
We should concentrate mainly on our own game. Don't worry too much about Featherstone. Trying to keep the mistakes to a minimum, and like I said, the ball control, and you never know, we could come up with a good result at the end of the day.
Meanwhile, to the east of the Pennines, the residents of Featherstone seem quietly confident their team will take home another trophy this season, although their coach knows it won't all be plain sailing.
We're expecting a very tough game. We've spoken about a forward confrontation. We think that'll happen. That's all right with us too. We like to go forward with the ball as well. If we can withstand Workington and take a bit of sting out of their forwards, we think we've got the people at the back end to do the business.
And one of those people is Paul Newlove, a record 50 tries this season, and with 10 international caps under his belt, he's used to the big match atmosphere.
I've played in some big games, Australia tour and in the test and that, but what you got to do is just get a touch of the ball early, and all your nerves will just go away then. Just get on with the game. You don't really notice a crowd when you're playing, so just get on with it.
Rovers captain Mark Wilson is confident that while Workington are capable of stretching Featherstone, the men from Post Office Road will be able to hold the Cumbrians and have enough in reserve to take the Divisional Premiership back to Yorkshire.
It might take 80 minutes to win the game, and it might, for 79 we might just be on level pegging with them. But I think at the end of the day we might just have the experience and the expertise and being a division up to beat them at the back end of the game.
So coming up, it is the Divisional Premiership. Featherstone Rovers, champions of the second division, against the runners-up in Division 3, Workington Town. And we'll have that match for you after these. Old Trafford now belongs to the men of the second and third division as we have the Divisional Premiership final. Mark Wilson, the Featherstone Rovers captain, chatting to David Howes from the Rugby Football League and about to enter the Old Trafford arena. It's the Divisional Premiership final. The champions of the second division against the runners-up in Division 3. This season's surprise packages, Workington Town. They have got here to Old Trafford as the first and last third division team. And this crowd is waiting for this one. And as far as the Workington Town supporters are concerned, it was a question apparently early hours this morning of last one out of the town, turn the lights off. They're all here. Featherstone, though, are here in some strength too. And the champions of the second division are the first team to emerge. They have lit up the second division this season. Only 3 defeats in 28 league games, and they came close to an upset in the Challenge Cup, eventually losing to St Helens, but only by 2 points at their own Post Office Road ground. This is the Featherstone side. Martin Pearson, Ikram Butt, Terry Manning, Paul Newlove, watch for him, 50 tries this season, and Owen Simpson, Francis Maloney and Brett Dawn, Leo Casey, Mark Wilson, Wayne Takata, Gary Price, Ian Smales and Brendan Tutor. And Workington Town, it must be their biggest day since Wembley in 1952. And they are wound up for this with Mark Mulligan, Des Drummond, Tony Kay, Brad Heppy, Gary Smith, Jed Byrne and Dean Marwood, James Pickering, Phil Mackenzie, the former Widnes hooker, Peter Riley, Ian Scott, Colin Armstrong and Wayne Kitchen. And Paul Newlove, 50 tries for him this season. And it's between Newlove and Wigan's Sean Edwards as who takes the top try award this season. Newlove at the moment with 50, Edwards with 46. It's all to play for those two characters today. Substitutes for Featherstone, they have Neil Roebuck and Richard Gunn, the former Leeds hooker, on the bench. Workington have Gary Schubert, the Australian, and Martin Oglenby, 14 and 15 for them. The match referee is John Connolly from Wigan, the referee of the year. It's his first major final, probably purely and simply because he lives in Wigan, and he told us on Friday night at the Man of Steel awards ceremony that he really was considering moving house if Wigan continued their triumphant march. Steve-O, all of Workington seems to be here.
Yes, you can cut the atmosphere with a knife, can't you? The tension is building. Workington Town, they've not just come down here to make up the numbers. They really are confident of knocking off Featherstone Rovers, who must start odds-on favourites.
Phil Mackenzie knows what this place is all about. He played 4 successive Premiership finals with Widnes. And now he is the fulcrum of the Workington Town attack. Still one of the best in the business. So it's the 1993 Divisional Premiership final, Featherstone Rovers against Workington Town, and it's the men from Cumbria in red and white who get us underway. First big hit from Colin Armstrong on his opposite number, Ian Smales. Workington, as you said, Mike, they look wound up like for this, don't they?
If you like your rugby league, tough, hard and even more tougher, then don't go away. This is going to be a big one.
The prop forward is Wayne Takata. This now is Brendan Tutor, the man the Australian press dubbed the baby-faced assassin after a torrid match, in fact a torrid series of New Zealand-Australian test matches involving Wally Lewis. The kick downfield. Mark Mulligan sweeps up the danger, just about. Gets away from Smales. Gets away too from Gary Price. Can't get away from the next two. Gary Smith, the winger. Mackenzie in at acting halfback, as he has done so often for Widnes. And that was a high challenge by Gary Price. First penalty of this divisional final.
Well, I said it was going to be tough, and you could see that Price, the swinging right arm going right over the top. Going to be a hard game for the referee, John Connolly. There'll be no prisoners taken in this one. As you mentioned earlier, Eddie, that this Workington Town side, they look fired up. So do Featherstone.
Traditionally, Steve-O, this divisional final, or second division final as it has been known in the past, has produced tremendous entertainment, and with men like Des Drummond on the field for Workington, this should be no exception.
Yes, it's been a revelation since he got up to the Workington area. Alongside with Phil Mackenzie, former Widnes star, they really have turned things around.
There's Mackenzie, and this is James Pickering. He really is a hero in the Workington area. The big Fijian prop forward, and he tried to get to his feet, but Takeda wouldn't let him, and Leo Casey was in there too.
Well, you can see Takeda there, all over the man. No chance of trying to play it. Two big boys. James Pickering, you can see looking at the referee. This could be early points for Workington. It's a start that they would have been looking for. 2 points, calms the nerves. Just settles them into the game a little bit quicker.
This is Dean Marwood taking this penalty attempt then for Workington. And a real old-fashioned kicker. He has just made a dent in the Old Trafford surface with the heel of his boot. No sand needed for the Workington Town scrum half. It's a long way out. He's hit it cleanly, and the crowd behind the post there from Workington will tell you that it's first blood to the men from the third division. Great start for Workington Town. Dean Marwood's boot, his 176th goal of the season. It's 2-0.
Well, the Workington fans behind that stick, those pair of posts, should I say, that they made enough noise and movement there to make trembles all the way up to the Lake District. They really are making themselves felt.
Good driving run, but the Featherstone defence moving up quickly. That has been the key really to Featherstone's championship. They were relegated last season, Featherstone Rovers, and Steve Martin, their Australian coach, really has tightened up their defence, and they have sailed out of the second division into the big league next season. Colin Armstrong, meanwhile, for Workington. Now Mackenzie, met by Gary Price. Bit of help from Leo Casey as well. It's the last tackle. Ball laid back to the full-back Mulligan. And he drifts it downfield to his opposite number, Martin Pearson. Has to watch it carefully. Pearson, 21 years old, and great chasing by Wayne Kitchen and company.
Well, he lost that ball. That will have to be a scrum down. But what a great kick from the fullback, Mark Mulligan. And you mentioned the chasers, Eddie. That type of tackling jolts the ball free. And Workington are really on the boil.
Scrum goes down 10 metres from the Featherstone line, and Workington Town will have the head and feed. 5 minutes gone. The men from the third division lead the second division champions 2-0 and are on the attack here with the fullback Mulligan, who's kicked downfield, got them into this position.
He did well to take that on the half volley. It wasn't the best pass.
Marwood to the tall figure of Tony Kay. Trying to get to his feet, tried to milk a penalty from John Connolly, referee having none of it. Harry Smith collects, the winger. Good tackling though by Tutor. Mackenzie to Kitchen. He brings Jed Byrne into it, then the tall figure of Buck Armstrong. Mulligan. Workington have certainly settled quickly.
It's been a good opening for them, really. They're using the big power forwards exceptionally well.
And Marwood just content to hack that one downfield. Jitters from Featherstone. Pearson though has it. And Pearson, the fullback, off on a great run. That's more like it from Featherstone. And referee Connolly quick to penalise Jed Byrne, coming in late.
Holding the man down. Good tackle by Mulligan, but what a great run from Pearson. It's the type of play that's made him a star. You can see it was Mulligan that came over the top, really with the knees. Didn't need to do that. They've lost vital position, the Workington.
Matty Pearson with a bump on the side of the face after getting the knees of Jed Byrne. And Old Trafford filling up all the time as this match progresses. 7 minutes gone now. Workington ahead by 2 points to 0. The Academy Cup final really has set the standard for this Premiership Finals day. A great exhibition by the youngsters of Hull and Warrington. This is the hors d'oeuvre now that we're into, the divisional final, and then it's Wigan Saints at 3:30.
It's not a bad main course, Eddie.
Brett Daunt, the Aussie scrum half, not being allowed to get to his feet, penalty against Workington Town.
Well, he didn't get out of the way. Then you see the loose forward do the rock, just use his knees, push down. Wayne Kitchen. This could be the chance now for Featherstone to bring the scores level.
It's going to be Martin Pearson, now the points in a season record holder. 141 goals this season. Steve Quinn set the original mark in 1980 of 375 points. Pearson will nudge 400 with this. Bang in front, 30 metres out. Scores a level. That will settle the Featherstone nerves. So 2 points all. Featherstone unbeaten in their last 7 matches, running in 321 points in the process. Workington arrive here on the back of 6 straight wins, and they've not been slow to score points either. They've registered 220 in that run, so you can expect a fast and open game here today once this early forward battle has settled itself down.
Yeah, it's a big problem, Eddie, with the Featherstone Rovers camp, is that they can't be sucked into a tough battle up front. They really do have the skill out wide. You look at Manning, Newler, Vikram Butt and Owen Simpson. They have the speed over this Workington Town side. But if Workington can force them to play down the middle, they've got to be in with a chance.
Here's Brendan Tutor, the New Zealand international. He releases Terry Manning. And Terry Manning is watched all the way by James Pickering, the huge Fijian. There he is, a real character and a great favourite at Workington. Ball's drilled over the top. Mulligan palms it one hand. It was the scrum half Brett Daunt's kick downfield. Here's Gary Smith, the winger. Didn't see too much of the ball in the semi-final last week against Rochdale, but I've noticed he's drifting in field and getting involved in every opportunity here today. Rough tackling from Featherstone on the centre Brad Heppy. Here's Armstrong again with a bustling run. Mackenzie, the dummy half. Bad pass. Good job that Smith was there on his wing this time. Vikram Butt came in to finish him off. Workington trapped in their own half. It's not a bad kick downfield from fullback Mulligan.
That's a great kick. Whenever you can turn the fullback round, has to go back, gives a chance for the chasers to put them down in their own quarter.
Now Vikram Butt again. Straight into the tackle from Pickering, finished off by Ian Scott and Brad Heppy. Terry Manning now. Gets the ball away. It's good play. On halfway with the prop forward Takeda. Takeda played for Norths in the 1991 Reserve Grade Grand Final in Australia. This is Brett Dawn. The man who's replaced Derek Fox, of course, at Featherstone Rovers. Pearson hoists the bomb. A tester for Mulligan. The Featherstone Rovers players, they'll have to stand off him as he went for that high kick. You've got to give him 10 yards breathing space.
Good refereeing there by John Connolly. Shouted out to all the Featherstone players, you're on offside, lay off him. That allowed Mulligan all the time in the world to take it, and they're offside now.
Featherstone moving up too quickly to play the ball. Kitchen's taken a quick tap penalty, but the referee wants it taken from the correct place.
And that'll be a scrum now.
Mistake really from Kitchen, that.
Well, there you can see that, in fact, never actually played it with his foot.
So Featherstone with head and feet. Pearson in possession for them, and well, untidy for a moment there. Manning couldn't keep hold of it. Ball came back. He will play the first knock on against Featherstone.
Just trying to be a little bit too pretty, I'm afraid, Featherstone there. He got away with a little bit of luck.
Two handling errors so far from Featherstone Rovers in the opening 13 minutes or so here at Old Trafford. This divisional final is all square, 2 points apiece. James Pickering in possession for Workington.
He's certainly a power forward, isn't he? But whether he can last the full 80 at this rate, pretty hectic pace.
Knock on here against Workington. It's the second row forward, Ian Scott.
To be fair, not the best of passes from the hooker Phil McKenzie. It's a second stray pass is sent out.
Now then, what can Brett Daunt? It's the standoff half rather, Francis Maloney. What can Francis Maloney conjure up here? Absolutely nothing, because that's great tackling by Kitchen and Gary Smith.
Beautiful play there by the loose forward. Came in across, Kitchen in to help. And a good break there by Francis Maloney. He just run out of space there.
Now Jed Byrne, the man who has seen service in Lancashire, Yorkshire and Cumbria, one of the very few players to play in all three counties where rugby league is played. I suppose he might be heading off to London next.
Tremendous defence by Featherstone there. Really has been one of the main reasons why they became top table toppers in Division 2. He's done a good job with them as their coach, Steve Martin. So too with the Workington side, Peter Walsh, two Australian coaches, of course.
It's another great kick downfield from Mulligan. Owen Simpson, the man who picked the loose ball up. There is Steve Martin, the Featherstone Rovers coach. A hot tip at one stage for the Wigan job when John Money goes home after today's final in the big one. But Martin signed a new deal at Post Office Road. He stays for another 12 months at least, and he will be a good acquisition for the big league and for Featherstone. They could be a force, you know, with runs like this from Tuta.
Well, he's the man that leads by example, not only in defence but in attack there. Very classy player as a Kiwi.
Now Francis Maloney again. Good break from Maloney. Gets away from two. The support arrives from Pearson. Featherstone attacking down that left-hand touchline. Great run from the fullback. Last tackle for them. Newlove, the man at dummy half. Haven't seen too much of him. That was Daunt. He helped it wide to Gary Price. Daunt again. Attacks now with Pearson to Featherstone, but he drops it. The referee will bring it back. It's on the last tackle. It'll be the turnover. It was a knock on. Mark Wilson thought he was in for the try. Pearson dropped it though.
The impact of the tackle there from Jed Byrne. It's a shame they couldn't make more of that. That really was a great run by Francis Maloney. That's the second time he skirted through this Workington Town defence. A good support play by the fullback Pearson. The gaps that are beginning to appear in this Workington outfit.
And James Pickering has had the shirt almost ripped off his back. Brendan Tutor penalised meanwhile by the referee, I think, for...
Well, you can see him interfering with them.
Knocking the ball out of the arms of Pickering. But look at... This is a brand new jersey he's got today for this final. Look at the state of it. Didn't last long, did it?
No, and I get the impression that perhaps they've had to have one made especially for him. Gee, he's a big boy, isn't he?
Here he is, half a shirt Pickering. Now it's right off his back. Taketa's finally got it off him. Well, it's a real off-the-shoulder number now that James Pickering's got. They're not too quick with coming out with a replacement. He wants one, but meanwhile, Workington will sweep forward. This is Tony Kay. Can't get away from Newlove, but he does well to bring Drummond into it. Possession is pretty tight in the opening 17 minutes here. Just edging Workington's way. It's Colin Armstrong with the run. Downed by Taketa. Now Jed Byrne.
Workington quite happy to use a dummy runner. Using the second line of attack. Usually one of the big forwards. That's mainly their game plan.
And it was the scrum half Marwood with the up and under, and he moved forward and played all his men onside, and Workington have it back. They're in possession with Drummond, and Drummond is out in touch. Smile from the Workington winger, but that was bad play really.
Great play though by the combination of Newlove and Simpson. Opted to go on the outside. Probably not as fast as what he was, say, 5 or 6 years ago.
Finally they have got the new jersey out of the dressing room, and he's now wearing number 15 on his back is Mr. Pickering. So if Martin Oglenby comes out and he's in 15, it'll be very interesting. This is Terry Manning, manages to get the ball away. Ikram Butt taking on Gary Smith. And Smith standing up to the challenge well. Mark Wilson at dummy half. Martin Pearson.
The Workington Town side by 8, James Pickering is now wearing 15. This is not a substitution. James Pickering now wearing
Tutor. Tackled high by Armstrong.
There's a swinging left arm. He made good contact as well. I said it was going to be tough, and they haven't let me down.
Colin Armstrong being ticked off by referee John Connolly. He's not missed a game all season, the big Workington second rower, former Carlisle and Hulkingston Rovers player, and he played in the 1990 Division 2 final when they lost 29-30 to Oldham in a classic. Brendan Tutor's all right though, he will carry on, and so Ian Smales with this penalty for Featherstone Rovers, and try and gain as much territory as he can. Mark Wilson will restart to Daunt, to the second row of Price. Midway through this first half, 2 points all. Daunt again. The runner was Brendan Tutor, and Workington watching him closely. The three men using the considerable weight and strength of Pickering to keep him out. That's neat, inventive play from Featherstone, but again Workington alert to it as Smales came on the diagonal run. Daunt again to Tutor. Newlove is out there. Newlove, the man with 50 tries this season. He's got 51. Try Paul Newlove, and that will probably clinch also the top try award for the season. And at £30 a try,
replay will show it was Brendan Tutor that made this. To the dummy. Lovely little short pass. They went too high, I'm afraid. Drummond and Tony Kay, and you talk about the second effort, and that's what it was. But look out for the beautiful pass from the Kiwi Tutor. Holds it up. Beautiful ball there. Sucked in Tony Kay, the centre. Second effort. Keep going, boy. It's 51. Super play. Called by the Kiwi Brendan Tutor on the blind side. They caught Workington Town napping in the defensive line. The penalty they paid is 4 points. Could this be another 2?
Martin Pearson then has scored with a penalty. Now he has this conversion attempt from way out wide. He's drifted it in towards the post but just didn't have the distance. So it stays at Featherstone 6, Workington 2.
You can see how Tutor has brought in Drummond and Kay. Look at the gap through, and the man goes in to score number 51. But the strength of a man shows out. Never give up in this game, and that's the reward that can come your way.
So Featherstone Rovers 6, Workington Town 2. Workington restart. Terry Manning drives the ball up on the first tackle. Through one but not through the cover. And for Paul Newlove, that's the 10th match in a row that he has crossed the try line for Featherstone. And in that 10 matches he has run in no fewer than 20 tries. A truly outstanding season for the Featherstone Rovers centre. The subject of much transfer speculation, of course. He is out of contract at Featherstone, but Rovers desperate to keep him at Post Office Road.
Yes, it'll take a big checkbook to get him away. Never see a mistake from the prop forward, Casey. This will give Workington the chance, and they need it. It's fundamental errors.
Brad Heppy for them. One of the nominees for the 3rd Division Player of the Year. This is Mackenzie. That's a great run from Mackenzie, using all his guile and experience. Now then, Jed Byrne, Armstrong. Des Drummond has gone into dummy half. Marwood to Pickering. Takeda's getting through a lot of work, the Featherstone prop forward. In Marwood hoists the bomb. It's a difficult one for Pearson. I think Workington are in. They are. And it's Phil Mackenzie. What a moment for the former Widnes man. A veteran of 4 Premiership finals with Widnes. And he's touchdown here at Old Trafford.
Stone's bit of Premiership replay. What a time to come back. The high kick from Marwood. And I'm afraid Pearson made a meal of this. Was affected by the crossbar, but that man, the hooker Phil Mackenzie, shows the delight. You see clearly Marwood, the very high bomb. Now it goes right underneath the sticks. Now the crossbar gets in the way of Pearson there. At the last minute, he's probably lost it. Just enough time for the hooker to poach the try that will put Workington well and truly back in this game.
Not only back in the game, but in the lead, courtesy of Dean Marwood's conversion. Featherstone 6, Workington 8. Mackenzie having running repairs, I think, on a dislocated finger.
From the high shot, look at the kick from Marwood. Oh boy, that's a high one, but you'll see clearly the crossbar just there. And that's well poached.
John Connolly just checking with his touch judges before pointing to the spot, awarding Mackenzie the try. The finger has been put back in place, and Mackenzie delighted with his 6th try of the season. Martin Pearson, his kick-off goes straight into touch.
Did well to leave that alone. That's a mistake. They could well have done without. But what a fight back from Workington. all about taking your chances, and they certainly did that. But what a great bomb from Marwood. That must have had icicles on it.
So it's a penalty on halfway, and Mark Mulligan drills the penalty into the far side of Old Trafford, and Pickering with the run. Well, he's been attracting interest from Australia this season, and no wonder with runs like that. Workington attacking the blind side, and the pass was forward.
Good call on the blind side with a loose forward. Kitchen trying to send Tony Kay away, but I'm afraid the centre just overran it slightly. I'm quite impressed with the way that Workington are using that second stanza. They're coming in on that second phase in attack, using the dummy runner. And when you talk about the big prop forward Pickering, he really does gain a lot of yards.
Coming up to 27 minutes then, and Workington Town doing the third division proud, leading by 8 points to 6. Well, Phil Mackenzie, the try scorer for Workington Town. Let's get news of his condition from Bill Arthur downstairs.
They say no pain, no gain. That's certainly the case for Phil Mackenzie, because it sounds as though in scoring that try, he didn't just dislocate his finger, he probably broke it. And Peter Walsh, the Workington coach, very concerned about Mackenzie's state. Gary Schubert has been stripped off, ready to come on. Mackenzie's still out there, but as I say, it could be a broken finger.
Well, it'll be a brave effort if he stays on with a broken finger, but Mackenzie doesn't look in any hurry to leave the stage, does he?
Well, I don't think he'll come off unless it's a really bad one. All they basically do is just strap it to the good ones, get away with it. Crowd go berserk. The thing was a high one from Tony Kay.
And the touch judge agrees, and it was. Our camera picked it out on Newlove.
Took a while for the Merry Flag waver to get on there, but the centre Kay didn't miss the target, and the target was Paul Newlove. A few words of wisdom being spoken to him by John Connolly, and rightly so.
Tony Kay, tall centre, had 2 spells at Barrow, also saw service with St Helens. He's a Cumbria County player. So it's a penalty to Featherstone, which Ian Smales will take, the second row forward. He's broken the tries in a season record for Featherstone himself this season with 22 touched rounds. It's a Featherstone forward. Brett Daunt, met by Peter Riley. Mark Wilson, the Featherstone captain, in at dummy half. Leo Casey driving his way towards the line. Big penalty count. This is Takeda.
Good play by Featherstone. They're trying to get up and play the ball very quickly, hoping to keep the Workington defence on the backward step.
Daunt again trying to conjure something up for Tutor. Tutor with the ball to Francis Maloney. Maloney heading for the line, and it was scrambling defence from Workington that kept them out. Newlove the dummy half to Tutor. Long pass. Oh, they took the gamble. Smales. If that would have been a decent pass to Owen Simpson, I fancy Simpson would have scored. But Tony Kay came steaming in, and that was a reckless challenge on Simpson.
What on earth was he thinking of? He just had a few words of wisdom from the referee, John Connolly. There's nothing to do with it, and Kay comes in like a pile driver. Let's hope the marbles have settled down slightly now. They had the chance. Featherstone blew it. But what a beautiful pass for Brendan Tutor to send the number 6, Francis Maloney, towards the try line. It was good defence from Workington. I'm afraid that indiscretion will put Workington under a lot of pressure again.
Well, Owen Simpson is still down and flat out, and referee John Connolly has called time off, and he will wait to see how Owen Simpson is after that almighty collision with Tony Kay before deciding what to do about the Workington centre.
Well, that was just plain malicious. At least a yellow card, surely. He has to stamp his authority. The referee of the year, John Connolly.
And they're calling for a stretcher. And this is bad news indeed. Bad news for Featherstone Rovers, bad news for Owen Simpson. And it could be very bad news too for Tony Kay, who might well be on his way to the dressing room here. Referee John Connolly has deliberately left it until he sees the damage to Owen Simpson, and at the moment the damage, I'm afraid, looks pretty severe.
Well, the play had actually stopped. The referee had already blown up the whistle for a knock-on. Owen Simpson was the one who had knocked on. There it is, and he kicks through, and this is just malicious. No need for it. Doesn't matter what level of football.
Neil Roebuck has come on already for Owen Simpson. Thankfully the stretcher has been taken away. Roebuck will come on. Simpson, I don't think, knows that he has been substituted, but he does now. And now John Connolly will discuss with his touch judge and call Tony Kay to him.
Doesn't appear to be any movement with the hands to go to the pocket. Not as yet, anyway.
He's laying the law down, the referee of the year. And Tony Kay is a lucky man. Simpson thankfully on his feet and walking groggily round the pitch.
Well, I agree with you, Eddie. Extremely fortunate, Tony Kay. Only a minute earlier, he got a ticking off from the referee for the high tackle.
Well, can Featherstone make him and Workington pay for that indiscretion? This is Leo Casey, who's being forced back. Simpson walking away. He's totally compos mentis now, thankfully. This is Takeda. Mark Wilson, the dummy half and captain of Featherstone, camped underneath the Workington Town posts. Brett Daunt, and now Maloney. Good play from Maloney, over the top it goes, and luckily for Workington, Gary Smith was there.
Panic football, that's all you can say. They've undone all the good work there that Francis Maloney had put them through. Nice jinking run. He's finding a few gaps as a number 6, but then they go and throw it all away with a stupid pass.
Mackenzie, fingers on the left hand are strapped. This is Pickering. Now Peter Riley, the prop forward. Last tackle in this set of 6 for Workington. It's back with Mulligan again. Another good kick from the Workington fullback, using the open spaces here at Old Trafford to good effect. And the chasers are all there too.
Excellent play there by Mulligan. It's the third occasion that he's turned around Martin Pearson. Strong kicker of the football. Makes it hard work for them. They've got to keep turning round, and when they're tackling, and that was a swinging arm from Pickering. Here it comes, just missed. Oh, there are times when you just like to duck at the right moment, and that was it.
I think Neil Roebuck saw that coming out of the corner of his eye. And Featherstone have taken a quick tap penalty. They're running the ball. That was Daunt. This is Wilson, who's handed it on to Rose, gets the return pass. The Featherstone captain finds Tutor. This is good play from the second division champions. It's with Ikram Butt out on the wing here. He's got a lot of work to do to get to the line, and Workington had a lot of work to do to keep him out.
Excellent play, Brad Eppie and the fullback Mulligan. They really went for it there, didn't they? Ikram Butt was setting sail for the try line. But once again we saw the skills of the Kiwi Brendan Tutor. That was a lovely delayed pass. He's having a fine game so far.
Workington in possession, but Featherstone swarming all over them, just 3 yards or so from their own try line. And Bill Arthur has got some news of Owen Simpson, who has walked off the field here.
It looked a lot more serious at the time, but in fact Owen Simpson has sustained a cut mouth, so it's a blood bin job for Owen Simpson. I can tell you that Peter Walsh, the Workington coach, was standing just beside me as referee John Connolly was deliberating with Tony Kay, and Walsh was a mighty relieved man when Kay stayed on. He thought his own man was going to get sent off. He was very relieved when he stayed on.
It's a knock-on, is the decision meanwhile by John Connolly.
Colin Armstrong not happy with it, and it was the foot there that dragged it away. Little doubt in my mind.
And Peter Riley will go off, and Gary Schubert, the Australian forward who began in this country with Salford in 1986, comes on. Scored a try in the semi-final last week against Rochdale. It was his first of the season, that, by the way. Featherstone get the possession back. This is Maloney. Daunt, the dummy half. Tutor involved all the way through. Invites Newland onto it.
Workington really suffering with the way that Tutor's running across at the angles. He's sucking in the defence to them. They don't really know what he's going to do, but he's getting out some beautiful passes.
This is Leo Casey. Good run, skipping over the top of the challenge from Mackenzie, but then grounded. Now it's with Daunt. That was a good crossfield run from Gary Price that was halted by those three. Last tackle for Featherstone. Tutor has it. Now Daunt. Terry Manning. And Workington again. Oh, I was going to say they keep it out, but Featherstone managed to get the ball and keep it alive. They don't now. Daunt takes the tackle. It's the last tackle in the set of 6. It's the turnover.
Good play by Colin Armstrong. Good tackle on Daunt, sorry. And they needed to be. They really were stretched, this Workington defence.
And the Workington player down and holding the mouth. The referee takes the ball off him and says, let's carry on with this divisional final while he receives treatment.
Well, you can see the hooker Mark Wilson coming with a shoulder. Hit the chest first and then slid right up into the chin. Mark Mulligan it was that felt the pain.
Mackenzie on his own again from dummy half. This is the first meeting between these two clubs since 1986, when Featherstone won a John Player Trophy first round tie by 22 points to 18. With Martin Pearson again, and he's under pressure from Kitchen and company.
Well, once again we saw that Martin Pearson had to turn round and chase that ball. Perhaps a message should get out there from his coach Steve Martin to stand a little bit further back. It's better to run onto the football rather than having to turn round and chase it.
Wilson at dummy half. Tutor, the man who joined Featherstone Rovers from Wests in Sydney in September 1990. This is Wayne Takeda, who really is the main reason why this Featherstone defence has been so tight in the second division this season, and will have to be, of course, in the first division in the big league next season.
Well, there we saw the exact opposite. The kicking game from Featherstone not very good, right down the throat of Mulligan. He'll enjoy that all day.
Dean Marwood, the Workington scrum half, just looked over the left shoulder then for his teammates. There was nobody there. They were just plodding up. Now it's with Mackenzie, who gives a short ball to Armstrong.
Good play from Workington. That's what they need. A little jinking run from the hooker Mackenzie. He'll find the gaps.
Jed Byrne to Tony Kay. Newlove has him by the shirt sleeve. It's the last tackle. There's Drummond to Marwood again. And Marwood hoists the bomb. And Pearson's underneath it, and this time takes it cleanly. That's better play from the Featherstone fullback.
Kept cool, didn't he? You could see the arms reaching high, bringing the ball in, full protection. Excellent take.
Terry Manning. Kitchen and Gary Schubert bringing him down. No one in front of Manning. He's able to do that. Play the ball to himself if there's no one standing in front of him as a marker. Made good, valuable yardage then for his team. Maloney. That's a good ball. It's Leo Casey, the prop forward, and now it's Paul Newlove. Featherstone doing well, keeping this ball alive.
Nice passing movement there. First Maloney and then Casey keeping it alive.
Dawn showed it, dummied it, gave it eventually to Tutor. Oh, Tutor threw the ball out looking for Ikram Butt, and either Butt wasn't there or the pass wasn't terribly accurate.
Well, that's the first bad thing he's done all day. Didn't realise that the winger Ikram Butt had come back on the inside. And Workington, they breathe a sigh of relief again. They still lead by those 2 points, 8 points to 6 over the favourites Featherstone.
Yes, it's 8-6, Workington Town ahead. In possession with Tony Kay. Mulligan. Another good kick downfield. Oh, great stuff. He's kicked well all day, hasn't he, Mark Mulligan? The Australian who's settled into the full-back berth.
Well, you saw on the replay there, the full follow-through of the leg, the right leg swinging. It's the action, not just the strength, the timing. Beautiful execution of a kick there. We're getting a bit sick and tired of this, the Featherstone pack having to turn round once again.
They have the possession though from the scrum. Brett Daunt has it for them. Oh, good tackling. Great tackle from Brad Heppy on Brendan Tutor.
Well, not surprising, Eddie, that both coaches, Australian, the defenders, well and truly on top, but there's some big crunches going on.
Leo Casey felt the latest of them from Schubert and Pickering to Cater. That's the half-time siren, and Workington Town have not only survived in this divisional final, but they lead at the interval, and those people who've made the long journey down from Workington will be well pleased. Tony Kay, a lucky man to stay on the field, but Workington Town lead at half-time by 8 points to 6. They lead here at half-time against the second division champions Featherstone by 8 points to 6, and if it stays like this, by a long way this will be the lowest scoring divisional final in the 6-year history of this competition. A long way to go yet, but last season it was 34 points to 20 when Sheffield took on Oldham. Now then, we have the two handy Andys with us on the gantry now. Andy Gregory of Leeds, who's been here all day, and the brand new Stonespitter Man of Steel for 1993, Andy Platt. Andy, first of all, welcome to you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Have you settled down? You're concentrating on rugby now?
Yeah, it was a pretty hectic night on Friday, but somebody said that I started off man of steel, ended up man of putty, so maybe right.
I can't believe it, but you're enjoying this Divisional Premiership final with us. Great game again, isn't it?
Yeah, I always thought that this would be probably the best game of the three. Obviously, I know the Wigan Saints game, a lot is expected of it, but Workington certainly have come to Old Trafford and brought a big support with them, and are playing very, very well.
They are playing well. Andy Gregory, it's not a bad advert for the second and third divisions.
It isn't at all. It's a tremendous entertaining game out there. And this morning I went over to the Leisure Club and the Workington Town over in Warrington, and the Workington Town was staying there. They fetched them down last night. They're really looking after them, and they were pretty confident, Workington, for a third division side taking on Featherstone, who's in the first division now. And I was talking to Jed Byrne and Desi Drummond and talked to Peter Walsh, the coach. They said they've not come down here just to get a good hiding. They were confident that they'll give them a game and turn them over, and they've certainly done it in that first half.
And they've managed to do that, haven't they? They've got a nice blend of a bit of experience and players that perhaps people at home haven't heard too much about, but we all know about Des Drummond, we know about Jed Byrne, we know about Phil McKenzie.
Everybody's been saying, like Workington, it's like a ghost town, but I remember talking to a few of the Wigan players when they played him in the Lancashire Cup, and Andy Platt played in that game, and he was saying it's one of the toughest games he had up at Derwent Park in Workington. They're no easy meets in that third division, and like they're doing that division proud. I know they've gone up into the second division, but there's no easy games at the moment in Rugby League, and they've gone out and improved it for 40 minutes, and I'm sure the coach, the Australian Peter Walsh, will be getting them G'd up again and saying, come on, let's keep it going. And hopefully you never know what might happen.
Well, with these three up here, Steve-O of course is with us as ever, and they say it's a big boys game. Steve-O, the Phil McKenzie injury as he got the try, looks like he's playing on with a broken finger out there.
Oh, he's a hooker, so it won't worry him at all. It's as simple as that. But it was a good try. You've got to take your chances when it comes down to finals, and they took it well. That's the impact going through. Just a bit of a shake of the hand, first the jubilation, and then the pain gets through to the brain. And that's when he comes through. But he's a tough guy. Look, we said it was going to be tough. They haven't let us down, have they?
They have.
There's some real crunches going on out there.
But Workington, I suppose, will be thanking their lucky stars that they're still up at full strength, courtesy of that Tony Kay incident on Owen Simpson.
Yeah, I thought he should have walked, but I'm not the referee. It was a bad incident. But full credit to Workington. They've come down to do a job, and the job is to contain the three-quarter line, basically, of the Featherstone side. They've got the speed. They know if they get the ball out wide, the likes of Newlove, they'll rip them apart. So they're trying to shut them down. Typical Australian defence, moving up quickly out wide, trying to channel them down the middle. And if Featherstone fall for the trick, then they can.
OK, well, it's all to play for, obviously, in the second half. We've got the two Andys with us who will be building up the atmosphere to the big one. That's the Wigan Saints clash that comes along here, if it stays according to plan, at around about 3:30. But before that, we have the second half of the Divisional Premiership final. It's Workington Town's 8, Featherstone Rovers 6, and the second half comes up next. The Divisional Premiership final, and Workington Town of the third division 8 points, Featherstone 6. Coming up, of course, we have the big one, Wigan against Saints, but there's a lot of rugby to be played in this divisional final before then. Quick look at the match facts. Scrums 6-4, penalties 6-5, handling errors. Well, Featherstone have made 8 to Workington's 3, and they've seen a lot more of the football than have Workington. But haven't Workington done well when they've had it in their possession? Owen Simpson has returned to the fray after that ugly challenge that put him out of the game for about 5 or 10 minutes in the blood bin. And also Workington have made a substitution at the start of the second half, which is now underway, and it's Martin Oglenby who has come off the bench, but because James Pickering is in the 15 jersey, Oglenby is wearing 13, and he has replaced the number 13, Wayne Kitchen. It's all very confusing, but I hope you're up to date with that. Oglenby's on in 13, and Pickering, having had the shirt ripped off his back in the first half, is wearing the substitute jersey of 15. And Phil McKenzie, with that kick downfield, inch perfect, is still out there despite the broken finger.
Nice play by the hooker, picked his spot well, not under a lot of pressure.
There's the substitute, Martin Oglenby, former Glasson Rangers amateur, substitute for Cumbria against Papua New Guinea last season, and getting in the tackle on Francis Maloney. Now here's Paul Newlove, steps through one challenge and another, but can't get away from the third man in, Tony Kay.
I'm sure that the Featherstone coach, Steve Martin, would have had plenty to say at the half-time break. The most important factor that I feel, they've got to get this ball out wide. The first receiver should be standing a little bit wider, or perhaps not use the forwards all the time. They've been forced into it at the moment, but running a little bit wider, especially Brendan Tudor as well, should get that three-quarter line going.
It's the last tackle. We've just realised we're about midway through this mammoth extravaganza from Old Trafford. We've had a wonderful Academy Cup final. We've got a compelling divisional final underway, and we have the big one, Wigan Saints, still to come.
Nice kick by the halfback, Brett Daunt. Will be an important factor in these the second half, this combination with Maloney, the halfback positions, up against some experienced campaigners in Jed Byrne and Dean Marwood.
Referee chatting to the forward packs of both clubs. Workington have it. Jed Byrne, tackled by Maloney. Now Heppy.
Referee John Connolly just went for a little bit of a nosedive there. Did a forward roll, much to the pleasure of the crowd.
Well, Workington doing very well, leading 8 points to 6, and their Australian coach Peter Walsh is with Bill.
Peter, what's your game plan for the second half?
Well, obviously the ball control is of mass importance. I stressed at half-time, we're giving Featherstone too many handouts, and they don't need any handouts. They're dangerous all over the park. So our kicking game's pretty good, our good yardage in it. We're getting a bit impatient when we get up around their half. They've had 11 sets of 6 and our 25 compared to our 3, so that tells the tale. So the boys have done well to come in 8-6 up at half-time, and, the pressure's on Featherstone, really. We're not even supposed to be winning this game.
Tremendous effort in that first 40.
Well, it had to be defensive-wise, because, as I say, our ball control wasn't as good as, I would have liked. A couple of cheap shots, giving silly penalties away, it's just not good enough, and I hope we can control the second half a lot better. If we do that, I'm very confident.
What about this amazing Cumbrian support?
Oh, they're great. They love their rugby league, and they love a town that's a side that's winning, and we thank them for their efforts during the year, and I'm sure they're playing a big part in us being here today. But there's a long way to go yet, and I'm sure there's a cheap shot again. So we're just helping Featherstone out too much, and they'll end up making us pay. We just can't handle that kind of pressure. They're too good a side, so hopefully we can hang in there.
Gary Schubert there coming in right over the top. To their coach, Australian coach of Workington, Peter Walsh, making it quite clear that they were giving those cheap shots, not to give any handouts. They're a good side, they're fully aware of it, but at the moment they're still 2 points in front, 8-6.
Featherstone in possession though with Leo Casey, and now with Wayne Takeda. Brett Daunt, and he offered the chance then for Maloney to take that pass and go through the gap, but good tackling by Pickering and Armstrong. And in the end, the referee, seeing that Armstrong was pulling at the jersey of the Featherstone player, gives the second division side a penalty.
Well, just lack of concentration there. It's allowed Featherstone to go from their own half well into the Workington Town quarter.
It was penalised, and Leo Casey has it for Featherstone. That was Wilson's pass to Decatur. 5 minutes gone, second half. Workington still ahead 8-6, but for how long? Featherstone in possession with Brett Daunt, and it just bounced off the shoulder. So close.
Well, Ian Smale just overran that. You could see he had to reach back with the left arm. Another chance wasted. They've made a lot of mistakes in the first half. Be a problem for them in the second. They must respect possession.
Yes, as one coach has said consistently, retention of the football is paramount. Mackenzie trying to release Marwood, and Featherstone moved off the mark too quickly.
Well, you can see they were not standing square. They were very slow to get back. It's the opportunity for Workington to launch yet another attack.
Our statistician Ian Proctor's just pointed something out very interesting to me here. It's a tremendous defensive effort, this, from Workington Town, because Featherstone Rovers have been free scorers in the second division this season. They've run in scores of 78, 52s, 60, 58. Consistently high scorers. What an effort this is from the men from Cumbria. And they have another 6 tackles to go here.
They went backwards. Knock on there. Good refereeing there by Connolly.
This is Pickering. Always danger when it's in his hands. Workington so close here. Marwood and Armstrong. Tony Kay in at dummy half. Trying to chink his way through himself. And it took brave defence from Featherstone to keep him out. Drummond is there. Marwood invites the substitute Oglamby to have a run. It's the last tackle. Armstrong back to Marwood, hoists across field. Bond. This could be interesting. And have Workington got it down? No. Knock on.
Well, it was Phil Mackenzie in amongst it again. Beautiful kick by Marwood. Arms all over the place, but this time Mackenzie just could not finish it off.
Great roar from the far side of Old Trafford as we watch. Workington Town supporters were up off their seats. And they really have matched Featherstone all the way, haven't they? It has been, as their coach Peter Walsh has said, a tremendous effort. No wonder he's confident.
Well, they've just never allowed the link, have they? They've never allowed Maloney and Daunt to get things going for that fast 3/4 line. And full credit for that. The likes of Kay and Heppy moving in the centres very quickly, shutting them down, forcing them down the centre.
Daunt's kick over the top, right down the throat of Mark Mulligan. Tackle was from Tutor. Bit of help from Decatur. He's worked hard all day as Brendan Tutor. Referee, though, will pull this attack back by Marwood. And it's a penalty to Featherstone because he didn't play the ball properly.
Well, you can see on the replay that he didn't. Well, it wasn't Father Christmas that was pulling him down at the other side. It looked like a blue shirt to me.
Well, then Armstrong, the Workington captain, has just had a word with John Connolly about that very point. But as a result of it all, Featherstone have this penalty, and Pearson can kick for goal here.
Well, there you see that the man was being interfered with, had to play the ball. The shirt was halfway off his back. a weird one in my book.
Well, Martin Pearson won't be disputing the decision if he plants this one over that crossbar. And the Featherstone supporters tell you with their cheers that it's all square here. It's level pegging at 8 points all.
Good play though by the skipper Colin Armstrong, the Workington Town skipper, having a word there with the referee. Is allowed to do that. But whilst that attempt was being made, penalty attempt, he was going round his players and saying, make sure you stand up and play the ball. Let's not give another penalty away like that.
That penalty goal, by the way, from Martin Pearson. He is now over 400 points for the season. Terrific effort from the Featherstone Rovers fullback. So all square, 8 points all, and all to play for in the last half hour here. There will be extra time in the Premiership finals, if needed, 15 minutes each way.
Well, that's a type of play that's surprising me from Featherstone, really.
Wigan have turned up. By the looks of things, they're just taking a glimpse at this divisional final.
Little knock on there by Mark Wilson. Just a little one there, you saw it. So did referee John Connolly. But I've been surprised with the way that Featherstone, they're using the likes of Brendan Tutor right down the middle, and really, when you've got people like Gary Price, Smales and Tutor who can run, they should be moved further out.
This is Tony Kay of Workington. It's Oglenby. Disappears under the challenge from Manning and from Tutor. Marwood to the fullback Mulligan. Workington, their last trophy in the 70s, the Lancashire Cup. And they beat Wigan in the final. That's a collision. In fact, it's more than a collision. The touch judge on this near side is on.
Well, it just looked like a shoulder charge to me. Paul Newlove it was. Interesting to note that the second forward, there's Newlove. Ian Scott was the man that went down. Interesting to note there, you saw on the replay that Scott just a little look to see whether the touch judge had actually stepped onto the field of play. Saw that he had, and went back down to the ground. All part and parcel of the game. A bit fortunate there if Workington receive a penalty for this one. He's obviously got him for interfering with a man not in possession of the football. See quite clearly. There it comes, there he goes, the shoulder charge. Wasn't a bad one either, but this could prove costly.
Yes, Newlove penalised, and so Marwood will have the shot at goal. As you see, he's building up his own little mountain on the Old Trafford surface. Alan Hunt and Steve Hampson on the left of your picture there, a proud new father. Baby daughter, born only last night. So congratulations to Steve Hampson and Lisa on the birth of little Charlotte. Perhaps Dean Marwood needs some sand. It's an old-fashioned style that these days, isn't it, Mike? The old bucket of sand normally comes out.
I thought you meant the hairstyle then for a moment, Teddy.
No, I've worked with you too long to comment about hairstyles. Important kick this. Paul Marwood struck it. He struck it perfectly. And Workington regained the lead.
The penalty goal from number 7, Dean Marwood.
He doesn't go enough to play, does he? But he kicked that goal absolutely beautifully. It was over the posts from the moment it left his boot, and the two captains, Mark Wilson and Colin Armstrong, been brought together by referee John Connolly. and he wants them just to settle things down a bit. Jedburn runs it back for Workington. So much at stake, not only the prize money, something in the region of £10,000, but also the Divisional Premiership itself and the silverware.
Well, the important time now is for both sides not to lose their composure, not to panic.
Pickering with this run, marauding forward, and talking of marauding forwards, there's another one, and it's good to see him back on his feet. Kevin Ward of St Helens here for this Premiership final, and that ball goes out on the full, so play will be brought back. It was on the last tackle and it'll turn over possession.
A little bit too strong there from Mackenzie. Probably one of the few kicks that haven't gone Workington's way. Their kicking game today has been excellent.
Pearson has linked in with the attack, just slipped on the Old Trafford surface, brought to ground by Schubert. This is Leo Casey.
Well, I'm still waiting for Featherstone to try this link. They've got to give more ball to the three quarters.
Gary Price. Wilson, the captain, at dummy half. Price allowed to take that ball to himself and gains about 10 yards, no more. Wilson to Daunt. Good running, this is Maloney. That's good chasing though by Jedburn. All the experience coming out there from the Workington standoff half. Tutor dabs the ball downfield. He'll have to watch that. And Mulligan did.
The idea was there, but Mark Mulligan equal to the task. Put his body between the ball and the oncoming attackers.
Peter Riley is going to come back into the action for Workington to replace Ian Scott, the second rower. A little reluctant to leave this Old Trafford stage at the moment. And here he comes now, he's spotted his number. So the prop forward returns. Kepi clinging on for Workington. Mackenzie at dummy half. One of those runs that have typified his play throughout his career. Big collision. Oglenby felt the full weight of Leo Casey coming steaming in. Now Marwood. Armstrong. Tall figure of a man.
Great to see Phil Mackenzie back at his best. It would have been a shame to see him go out of the game.
Here he is again.
Full credit for Workington to give him that opportunity. He really is a class act.
Last tackle this is. Mulligan hoists the bomb. Mulligan charges forward, tries to put all his men on side, but doesn't matter, the ball's run dead anyway. Now Brendan Tutor as Featherstone bid to just put the foot on the gas and up the tempo, and they're given a penalty for flopping.
Well, Tutor trying to get to the ground, off the ground and play the ball quickly. It's a ploy to try to catch the defence going backwards. And that's good thinking there to slow things down.
Neil Roebuck has come on for Wayne Takeda, the prop forward for Featherstone. So both coaches just jiggling things around a bit to try and secure this divisional premiership. And Workington seeing a lot more of the ball in this second half. But at the moment it's in possession of Featherstone, Leo Casey, but that's Burn and Pickering with the tackle.
Well, they'll just soak this up all day, these Workington forwards. They're having the time of their life. Featherstone's just playing right into their hands. They've lost the plot a little bit of Featherstone. They really should have to get this ball out wide.
Maybe they will now with Newlove. Just shrugs Brad Heppy off. Newlove, second division player of the year. That's good play. Manning, Pearson turns the
the big prop forward Pickering, the man at the right moment, but I'm afraid he just went in touch there. He knows the pressure is off only for a few seconds. Featherstone head and feet at the scrum. That really was exciting football from Featherstone. Showed you how strong the upper body strength of the centre Paul Newlove.
But what a great tackle from Mark Mulligan, the Workington Town fullback.
Is that a fine game, Eddie?
Here comes his opposite number, Martin Pearson. Midway through this second half, it's all to play for. Another classic divisional final. Tuka is the man in possession. Gets it to Simpson. Simpson bounces off the challenge of Riley. Wilson to Daunt. Price. The support was there from Newlove again, and Newlove was hurt there.
Not only hurt, but did he drop the ball? Oh, he looks in a lot of pain. The leg went underneath, and then the impact of the tackle took him back over.
Oh, and he's hurt.
There you see Colin Armstrong down, and there the impact from the fullback Mulligan twisted him round. That is painful. We'll see more clearly. Armstrong goes low, and the impact from the fullback Mulligan twists him in the tackle. The leg stays straight. Oh.
Well, he was on top of the world on Friday night when he was named Second Division Player of the Year. But now he looks in all sorts of pain, and I think it's the ankle. The referee calls time off. Some very concerned Featherstone medical officials there. One of the brightest prospects in the British game.
Let's hope it's just a twist of the ankle, no break. As you mentioned, Eddie, one of the stars of rugby league's future in this country.
Well, the pictures tell their own story. He's in some distress, Paul Newlove. He'll try in each of his last 10 matches now. 20 in that sequence. The first centre to score 50 tries in a season. He's now up to 51. And it looks like it might well be a twisted ankle. Sad way to end your season. If it be the end of his season, he'll want to stay on if he can, but he's walking gingerly on that right ankle. But he's staying on. He knows how important he is to this Featherstone Rovers cause. But until he works that one off, he's a bit of a passenger.
Well, they've had plenty of time to work a move out of Featherstone.
Daunt. Pass to no one. Ikram Buck picks it up.
Well, the move was there, but it just went astray.
Daunt again to Tutor. Bounce ball, and Newlove finds the strength from somewhere. Finds Owen Simpson. Simpson still going. Another big collision for Simpson. Oh, he knows he's been in a divisional final. The Featherstone winger. Tutor at dummy half. Daunt. And Maloney. Brought down by Byrne, manages to release the pass though to Daunt. That kick ahead went backwards almost, and Workington have it back.
Oh, good take there. Gary Smith positioned himself well. But you could see there, the first time the ball went out, Paul Newlove could hardly walk, but he did get the pass away. This Workington Town defence, take a bow, it's been brilliant.
Well, if you're just joining us here on this Premiership Finals Day, you have missed 4 tremendous hours of entertainment here on Sky Sports, but we have the big one to come for you, Wigan against St Helens. But this divisional final is a cracker, and this is Mackenzie. And Brett Daunt got fingertips to that pass inside from the Workington hooker, and a good job he did too.
Well, Brett Daunt, take a bow, because I'm telling you, that could have been the turning point of this game. A great run by Phil Mackenzie. He's having the time of his life. The dummy went through the gap, and they were queuing up to take the ball.
And it's another penalty to Featherstone. Tony Kato saying that this time he was the man who saw the little short arm there from Martin Pearson.
Using the feet, trying to step over rather than get out of the way.
Featherstone launch another attack. Casey, big collision between him and Schubert, and also Riley.
Well, it's just one-out football. They're trying to just bulldoze their way through, and really, they've got to go around this Workington defence.
Wilson, he finds Tuta. Has Tuta got the key? This time, Jed Byrne watched him like a hawk. This is Terry Manning. So close, Featherstone. Wilson in at dummy half to direct operations. Daunt. Maloney. Last tackle for Featherstone. They're so close. Daunt again. Newler trying to get in the corner. Newler with his strength. Can he get the ball down? Yes, he can. Workington can't believe it. They argue with the referee. The touch judge had a word with John Connolly, and Newler with his second try of this match, try number 52 of the season.
Stone's bit of Premiership replay. You will see the hobble try of the year. The strength of this man. He could hardly walk a couple of minutes ago, and look how he gets himself over again, and he gets it down. Try as they may, the Workington defence could not get underneath him. And for once, when the ball has been spun out wide, they found that little chink in this Workington armour. And the strength of this man proves again, it was strength that got him the first try. It was strength also that earns him the second.
The Great Britain international Paul Newlove has swung the match Featherstone Rovers' way. It's 12 points to 10 and 27 minutes on my watch plus stoppage times. But was it down? The referee had no doubt. Neither did his touch judge. And Pearson's conversion attempt drifts wide. So 2 points the gap.
Well, you see, it's a long pass. The first time that Featherstone have missed out two men, the gap appears, but the strength takes him over. And they just couldn't get underneath him. Mulligan tried, but the strength of that man in the centre, Paul Newlove, and he did get it down in my book, but it's not my book that counts, it's that man John Connolly that counts. He says yes.
Well, the touch judge, I think, was the decisive nod as far as that one was concerned. He looked at John Connolly and said it was a try. So Featherstone Rovers have edged back.
Well, it's amazing to think that that's the first time that Featherstone have actually thrown a long ball out wide. First time they've missed out men. Up until then, I'm afraid they were just using one-out football.
That ball's come free. The ball was stolen in the tackle, says John Connolly, and so it's a penalty, and Jed Byrne gave his view of events after this and has been marched back 10 metres.
Well, Pickering's arm went in, Mackenzie's was in there as well. A few words of not wisdom marches them another 10. This is a time when they really have to rally now, Workington. 2 points adrift.
So now Featherstone, they know that they are edging towards the Divisional Premiership trophy. And it might well come down, Mike, to superior fitness in the end.
Could well be. But they look full of running now, Featherstone, that really has lifted them.
Tuta with that darting little run. This is Brett Daunt and Maloney. The ball out wide again to Paul Newlove. Tries to get away from Des Drummond and does. The strength of Newlove going Wilson at dummy half, gets the ball to Roebuck. He finds Maloney, and Maloney scores! That could be the moment when Featherstone win the divisional final. Francis Maloney, his 11th try of the season. The man who joined from Leeds at the start of this campaign because he was getting nowhere at Headingley, could well have won silverware for Featherstone.
Stone's bit of Premiership replay will show Francis Maloney. I'm thinking of his father that comes from Dewsbury. And he took this well, but once again the ball being spun out wide. The key has been turned. The lock has gone. Look at this. You can see that the Workington defence, they held off. The little step inside, he had the speed and strength. And that could well wrap it up.
Great scenes of jubilation amongst the Featherstone Rovers players, and Martin Pearson adds the extra 2, and the gap now is 88 points, 18 points to Featherstone and Workington 10.
See how the ball came out wide, the gap appears, the 4 points are on the board. Good finishing, nice long pass, caught the defence napping.
And is that the moment when Workington's brave effort and their brave resistance finally cracked? Featherstone began as firm favourites to win this divisional final, but they have been given a mighty scare by the men from Cumbria. 18-10 they lead. On my watch, just over 8 minutes left for play, plus stoppage time.
Well, they certainly won't throw the towel in this Workington Town outfit. Anything can happen in a final. A quick try, take the conversion as well, and they're back in it. Even though Featherstone appear to be running a lot more confident now than they've done throughout this game, they will not give in, this Workington Town side.
The ball with Pearson, drills it over the top and downfield. The bounce makes it difficult for Drummond. He lost about 20 yards then. And now Mulligan. 7.5 left, 8 points the difference. Dean Marwood in possession for Workington. Mackenzie to Tony Kay. And Colin Armstrong, the Workington Town captain, is up the other end of the field receiving treatment as Pickering launches his considerable frame forward. Now it's with Drummond, now Mackenzie. Mackenzie trying to jink away from Pearson. Marwood supported the attack. They're helping the ball on. They're going to run through the injured Armstrong. Happy drops it. Knock on.
That was a shame. Just when the ball was being spun out wide, it was Armstrong that was having attention there. He was happy that couldn't hang on to it, but they really did play the ball well, Workington. It came about with that beautiful run from James Pickering. They kept it alive, and when the ball was split, Featherstone were just out on their feet. The gap appeared exactly where Colin Armstrong was actually being attended to. How's that for bad luck?
And Colin Armstrong will be taken off on a stretcher. The Workington skipper in some pain. And so he goes off to be replaced by number 11, Ian Scott, who returns. There's been a big effort from Buck Armstrong this season. He hasn't missed a game throughout the campaign. And Wayne Takeda has also returned to the fray for Featherstone Rovers.
Featherstone Rovers, number 10, Wayne Takeda returning and replacing number 11, Gary Price.
And it's Gary Price who goes off for Featherstone. So Takeda, the man who has snapped that defensive door shut so often for Featherstone this season, brought on to play out the last 5 minutes here and keep Workington at bay. Ian Smales now. And suddenly the possession has swung dramatically in Featherstone's favour as they've taken a grip on this final. High High challenge there by Jed Byrne on Tutor, and it's a penalty.
He didn't miss him. Swinging right arm. Kiwi went down like a sack of potatoes. A little bit of indiscipline there. Especially coming from a man with the experience of Jed Byrne. The frustration coming out in the play now. He must feel a little bit dejected. It's been a superb effort by Workington.
4.5 to go plus stoppages, and Martin Pearson is going to have another kick at goal from this penalty. And again, no wonder, bang in front, 30 metres out. He's topped the 400-point mark for the season in this divisional final at Old Trafford today. He's a kicker of some quality, the 21-year-old. It's 20 points to 10.
Martin Pearson.
And Workington's run, the current best winning run in rugby league of 6 straight wins. Wigan and Saints, of course, fought out that draw over Easter. It's about to come tumbling down here at Old Trafford as they make a change to Featherstone. Leo Casey goes off with a little shake of the head, and Richard Gunn, the former Leeds man, comes on.
Replacing number 8, Leo Casey.
Well, that's a good move there by Steve Martin, the Featherstone coach. Bring on a fresh man, just lift them, take the ball up, calm things down. They know that they've got this in the bag.
Ikram Butt. Workington sticking to their tackling guns. Here's Richard Gunn. Featherstone know that if they don't panic, they've got this final one now. 2.5 to go, plus stoppages. 20 points to 10. The Rovers lead.
Really has been an absorbing final.
And that's a lovely run from Neil Roebuck. He gets the ball away to Ikram Butt. Ikram Butt tries to get past James Pickering, but it's like trying to run round a roundabout. Brett Daunt launches the pass to Maloney. Long pass out wide to him, to Smales. Ball gets released.
Well, not the best effort by Smales there to keep the ball alive. It really would have been better to have just gone down there, taking the ball to the ground.
Mackenzie to Marwood. Skips away from the challenge of Takata, but couldn't get away from Roebuck. Penalties, 14 to Featherstone and 7 to Workington. Really, you can't hope to step up a division in class and concede 14 penalties to the second division champions. That was the last tackle, it's the turnover. Featherstone get on with it quickly. Tutor to Manning.
Running with a lot of confidence now, Featherstone. They'll probably try to keep this ball alive.
Dawn to Takata takes the tackle. Just 1 minute to go. Richard Gunn.
He's already listed as the second division player of the year. He's the try scoring list from Featherstone Rovers, number 4, Paul Newell.
You probably heard the tannoy announcement in the background as Martin Pearson takes the run. That number 4 there, Paul Newlove, is the man of the match here in this second division, this divisional final rather, and this is going to be the crowning moment. Is it for Featherstone? No. Newlove, man of the match, leaves the dummy half roll to his captain Mark Wilson. Dawn fancies a drop goal attempt, but Workington have closed him down, and Tutor drops it.
Well, tiredness coming in there. Brendan Tutor is at a pretty strong game. There's been a lot of stars. Newlove, full credit to him, the man of the match. He certainly worked hard, and he took those 2 tries when they desperately needed it, because Featherstone, it took them quite some time to realise that the ball out wide would split this Workington defence. There's been stars from both sides, Eddie. None more so than that fella there, but been impressed with the way Mark Mulligan, the Workington Town full-back, has got into it.
This is Tony Kay for Workington, challenged by Newlove, and of course Newlove's 2 tries here this afternoon means that Sean Edwards in the Wigan Saints match to come needs to score 7 to take the top try award. Mackenzie, Workington, credit to them, keep it going to the end.
He's had a top game as well, the hooker, Mackenzie.
It's now with Byrne. Oglenby looking for Mulligan, and they just put the ball down. They can go on though. Oglenby's come up with the try. The ball went backwards. Referee John Connolly waved play on, and Oglenby, the man who came on as a substitute and wore 13, touches down.
Stone's better Premiership replay. 1 ball out wide. He just couldn't hold on to him, Mark Mulligan, but the substitute Oglenby in for the try, albeit consolation. But that was a correct decision. You could see that the fullback just fingertipped it back. It was enough for that man to go over the substitute. All too late, I'm afraid.
Well, substitute last week, Martin Oglenby, and substitute coming up with the try here this afternoon. 20 points to 14. If Marwood strokes this one over, it's 20 points to 16, and respectability is certainly the name of the game for Workington Town. He's kicked it, and it is respectability for the runners-up in Division 3.
Well, there has been quite a few stoppages, of course. Stoppages with the injury to Paul Newlove. And the official timekeepers have informed us that there's about 4 minutes remaining. Could we have one of the greatest fight backs of all time?
I'm sorry, Mike. Referee John Connolly in no hurry to get it going again. If Featherstone want to stroll up to the halfway line, he'll stop the clock, and he's just put time back on. So never mind respectability. If there's 4 minutes to go, as you say, there's a real chance here for Workington.
Well, we said, didn't we, halfway through, they won't throw the towel in. They came down here, they meant business.
And they still do.
They really just have to gamble now, throw everything at Featherstone.
Here they come with Kay. Mackenzie looking anxious at dummy half. Finds Jed Byrne. Byrne takes the tackle. Last one. Marwood hoists the kick. And he was clattered then by Roebuck as he took the kick. But this is Martin Pearson, who's grounded by Des Drummond.
Tremendous run there by Pearson, realising that time's on his side. Just kept going, running across field, made sure that it stayed in the field of play. It'll be a forward jaunt now, eat up the seconds, and hope for the big kick downfield.
Tutor. Good run again from him. Don't forget, coming next, Wigan Saints, but this divisional final has again lived up to the pre-match billing. Smales eventually takes the tackle. That's the 5th one. It's with Daunt, and now with Pearson, who just plops one over the top, but got too much length on it, and so it will restart with a tap on the Workington quarter line. Well, on my watch, 4.5 minutes of stoppage time played already. Here's Brad Heppy. Mackenzie, lovely short ball, finds Oglenby, whose try has put new life into the Workington Town cause. Byrne. Scott to Tony Kay. Now it's with Marwood. Over the shoulder and untidy, and Manning has it back for Featherstone. Good run from Manning. There's the siren. Featherstone have won it. Paul Newlove is the man of the match. Big hug for him from Owen Simpson. 2 tries from Paul Newlove. 20 points to 16. Featherstone win the Divisional Premiership. They take the silver trophy with them to the big league next season. But well done, the men from Workington Town and Division 3. Steve Martin, the Featherstone Rovers coach. Champions of the second division. Now Premiership final winners here. Phil Mackenzie will be as disappointed as any of the Workington Town players that he hasn't ended up on the winning side here. Now then, where's he come from? Steve-O, get back up here. Great effort though from these two sides, Featherstone and Workington Town. Francis Maloney worked hard for Featherstone Rovers. And Rovers, I think, did they just shade it in your book, Mike?
Well, they just kept their composure, didn't they? It took them a while to work it out. This Workington Town defence was very, very strong. And once they did elect to miss a man out, take the long ball, the long passes, it paid off. But really, what it all boils down to it is the fact that the strength of one man, Paul Newlove, they weren't easy tries to score. He had to force his way through for both of them. And in the end, that was the difference.
So Mark Wilson leads the Featherstone Rovers players up the steps to pick up the Divisional Premiership. Little kiss for the trophy, and it's on its way to Post Office Road. The club £10,000, the richer too. The prize money from the sponsors, and big gape-toothed grin from Ian Smales. Francis Maloney enjoying it. Owen Simpson, despite going off in the first half, taking the applause of the crowd, and a big grin on the face of man of the match, Paul Newlove. 2 tries from him, absolutely crucial as Featherstone win this award. So to come, we have the big one for you, Wigan against St Helens, and we shall be building up to the kick-off in the Premiership final, the decider after these. Taken the Divisional Premiership trophy. Ian Smales leading the lads around on a lap of honour, and a well-deserved lap of honour too. And I can tell you that Workington Town, as you can see from that scoreboard there, played their part in an entertaining final. The men from the 3rd Division did Division 3 proud. 20 points to 16 in the end, and Paul Newlove with 2 tries picking up the Man of the Match award.